Michigan Snow Forecast Gold Standard on Facebook. Hit that follow button. The current updated track from the National Hurricane Center calls for a Category 1 or Category 2 storm to cross into the panhandle of Florida or northwest Florida. Hurricane watches, tropical storm watches, and a state of emergency have all been issued by the National Weather Service and the governor of Florida. Current water vapor imagery shows the storm was migrating a little bit off to the south or southwest, has now made its pivot point, tightened up, and you can see at the end of the water vapor imagery as it's starting to head north is becoming well organized with the convection wrapping around tightly to the center. Looking at the infrared, you can see the convection or the thunderstorms wrapping around the newly formed tropical storm nicely in the last couple of frames. Visible satellite imagery shows this beautiful favorable environment, and the HWRF composite reflectivity hurricane model shows the storm going to continue moving north or northeast over the western tip of Cuba or just west of there into the northeast Gulf of Mexico and become much better organized, getting that convection and the thunderstorm activity to wrap nicely around the classic I formation in a Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane as it makes landfall somewhere in the panhandle of Florida or northwest Florida. Taking an up close and personal look at it, you can see as the storm gets over the northeast Gulf of Mexico, it becomes much better organized, a good inflow band, a good outflow band, classic looking hurricane with a tightly wrapped convection around the center of circulation. And as we know, the northeast quadrant of the storm is the strongest part of the storm and where the storm surge will come in. Looking at the mean sea level pressure, and you'll see as it tightens up, the convection gets tightly wrapped around the storm. It becomes better organized and gets a well-defined eye. The pressure, the sea level mean pressure drops on this model to 942 millibars as it makes landfall, which would be a strong hurricane. We are not forecasting that strong of a hurricane, but it is possible. Looking at the max wind gust in miles per hour, you can see we're getting up near 100 miles an hour as we approach the northeast or the northwest coast of Florida and make landfall with a well-defined eye, a beautiful looking storm in a favorable environment with warm waters to feed off of. This is going to be something to watch closely as it's going to be a fast-moving storm as it gets picked up by a cold front draped over the northern Gulf of Mexico, but this will produce damage, this will produce flooding, and this will be a problem.